Look, I know it sort of looks like I'm recording an apology video right now, but I haven't done anything yet. I did not with my cat, don't worry. But today, we are here to talk about crossovers. I don't care what you say, crossovers are awesome, right? Seeing two shows that you love being blended together is still like mind-blowing to me every time it happens. I know with Marvel now, you're sort of used to seeing the Abomination show up in She-Hulk, or Wong show up in She-Hulk, or Megan Thee Stallion throw her back in She-Hulk. But when it's different shows for different showrunners, and especially when it's in different mediums that the show is presented in, then seeing a crossover between them is mental. So today I'm obviously taking a look at the crossovers from Lab Rats and Jimmy Neutron. Are you surprised? Really? Really, Brittany?
On May 7th, Nicktoons will collide.
Jimmy Neutron, boy genius. Timmy Turner.
For the first time in history, Timmy Turner and Jimmy Neutron are trading places.
Hey, why is everything so bulgy?
Swapping dimensions.
You gotta help me get back to my world and get that other kid back here.
And switching realities. In the super special Jimmy Timmy Power Hour.
I love this universe.
What in the name of Nicktoons could cause this crazy crisis?
Uh-oh.
And will they ever be themselves again?
My name is Timmy. Timmy. Timmy? Who's Timmy? I'm Jimmy. Jimmy Neutron.
Everything I know is a lie!
The Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. Friday, May 7th at 8, 7 Central. On the only place that messes with the Tooniverse. Nickelodeon.
Let's get experimental.
And they said Endgame was the most ambitious crossover of all time. The Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. Its poster shows up when you look up crossovers on TV tropes. Also, this poster is awesome. Look at it. I'd get this framed. Yeah. This'll get me laid. Jimmy and Timmy switch universes and have fun. That's the description on the Google panel for some reason. Not really accurate at all, but the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, with a runtime of 49 minutes and 32 seconds, has almost all 5-star reviews. Like, just look at these. I love the Jimmy Timmy crossover special. My favorite part is when Timmy Turner said, "It's Timmin' time," and then Tim's all over Jimmy Neutron. Truly a cartoon of all time. What? I remember watching both shows when I was a kid, and I had no idea that the crossover happened, and one day I was looking on the wiki, just scrolling it because I was a nerd, and I saw that this crossover was there, and I went crazy. Anyway, let's talk about it. Hey, did you say the new Fairly Odd Parents pilot got leaked? What? So the episode starts in Timmy's world at his school, where Crocker is spitting facts like usual.
Well, future failures of America.
We learn that the school is having their annual science fair, and today's theme is transportation. Damn! Look at that trick that Crocker hit. Broken move! Sanjay No Craig says that he made a audio-visual cart so you can drive while watching stuff and distracting yourself from the road. That's pretty cool. I made this phone cuts off your thumbs. Like, seriously, how are you meant to look where you're going when you're driving? This is the most counterintuitive shit I've ever seen. Boyle Boy made a Boyle Lancer. You couldn't just use like a cream. What does that even have to do with transportation? It sounds like you can just make whatever the fuck you want, and if it's loosely read to travel, then you can just do it. Francis makes a robot that goes to jail for him, Jack Whitehall, and Chester kills his dad by sending him to the fucking stratosphere. And AJ made 10 clones so I can play bowling while I'm driving. Timmy forgot his project because he's too busy using cheats to win a video game, and Crocker sees this and he closely watches Timmy before he gets distracted.
Look, a child in pain.
Where?
Crocker literally me. He just like me for real. No women. Mentally insane, hates children. That's pretty much it. Timmy says Cosmo and Wanda have to hide before he sees them, instead of just like disguising themselves like they normally do. In case of an emergency, Wanda pulls out Timmy's autoproofer, it teleports him back to his room. Timmy wishes he was at the greatest lab in Dimsdale, but when that leads him to AJ's room, he wishes he was in the greatest lab in the universe. So he gets poofed away. We then cut to another universe where Timmy shows up. Oh my god, it's literally referenced as other universes in the following specials as well. So I don't understand. How does that it just starts leaking inside, just like a real dog. And when Jimmy goes to find something to fix it, he sees Timmy succumbing to the same amount of brain rot that I get after 1 hour of TikTok. It's a lobotomy helmet, that's what it is. I'm sorry. I was gonna make a separate joke about lobotomy, but my brain couldn't think of something that would make the cut. Also, he whacks his autoproofer against his head and doesn't get teleported back, but when Timmy just like slaps on his hand a few times, he does. They start arguing, and Timmy once again brings attention to the fact he's 3D by throwing it the fuck back.
Just shake that ass, bitch, and let me see
Then he slips into Jimmy's hypercube as Jimmy picks up his poofer and teleports back to his universe. Smartest person in the universe, my ass. Timmy jumps out the hypercube and notices that Jimmy's gone, to which he proclaims,
I finally got the greatest lab in the universe all to myself.
oh boy, now I'm excited. We finally get the iconic intro sequence, which starts with my worst nightmare, an open mic comedy night. It's a big battle of Jimmy placing down a boombox, then Timmy placing down a boombox, and they keep fighting each other. And so they both bust out from the side doors and just shoot like beams of shit. Magic beam versus science beam. Title card. They come to the middle and die as Cosmo and Wanda ride Goddard off screen. We cut back to Timmy just grabbing and testing a bunch of stuff like his robotic barber and his cheese ray. Why would he make that? You may think it's to solve world hunger, but then in that case it's just like, what's up? It's me. You can tell by the shirt, Jimmy Neutron here. I just came in to say, you lactose intolerant people. Suck my... Timmy stumbles onto Goddard and just assumes that he's a video game dog box. Kids these days, man. Yeah, these days. The current year of 2004. The year of our Lord. He pulls out a copy of Decimator that he's just started conveniently carrying on him yesterday. That's literally a quote from the episode.
Good thing I always carry a copy of Decimator, Crush the Planet, that I conveniently started carrying yesterday.
But when Timmy goes to insert the disc, shouldn't Goddard's tune-up upgrades still be in there? Timmy picks up a mini laser thing that's his poofer because it's stupid. And as he does this, Carl and Sheen drop into the lab. They think Timmy is still Jimmy and it's just a science experiment that got really messed up. I mean, to give them the benefit of the doubt, they're 10, but also like Sheen got held back a couple times, so he's like a maximum age of like 14 in this. God, he's really stupid. Also, it's a little bit weird. Like, I couldn't imagine myself in 2021 going to hang out with like a bunch of children. That's fucking weird. I just realized Sheen's a Timmy agrees to let Carl and Sheen stay as long as they let him know how all the technology works, which they agree to so they can finally use all the dangerous shit that they couldn't before. And after they crash, Judy comes out to ground who she thinks is Jimmy, so I guess even the adults in this show can't have an IQ above 20. And Timmy hypnotizes her into thinking she's Mighty Mom, which is a reference to a Fairly Odd Parents episode, and she goes inside, and instead of referring to him as Dino Dad, like in the episode, she refers to him as Lint Boy, and Hugh thinks it's a sex game. Mighty Mom references Buzz Lightyear, and then the scene ends. She buzzing on my Woody for a light year. We quickly cut to Goddard downloading Decimator. It's been 2 minutes. What, do you think we forgot or something? Cindy and Libby do an impression of me in 2021. And after Timmy crashes, he finally gets up and... oh, thank God. 2 characters that realize he isn't fucking Jimmy Neutron. No, they realize he's a different person. They think he's one of his friends that's came in from out of town. And they think he's a genius that's from his, like, online chess clubs. Ahead of the times.
I can't believe it. I can't fucking believe it. My cock is throbbing. Throbbing.
Carl and Sheen show up as Timmy finally puts the moves on Cindy, you know, rizzes her up, as the kids say. Call me Timmy the way I turn her on. They dip, and we finally see Goddard in his Decimator form as he approaches Hugh.
Player 1, your future is cancelled.
Get down, boy. No, get out! Get down!
What would happen if we morphed together Jimmy's dad and Timmy's dad? Find out after the break.
Fancy.
What's going on?
2 can play that game.
What do we do?
We can save.
I can plunge the earth into darkness.
If his blood pressure gets too high,
Bow down at my feet.
he'll explode. We have to go help them. He's too powerful.
Don't miss the 1-hour crossover event. Lab Rats vs. Mighty Men premieres Wednesday, July 22nd at 8:30.
So what do these two look like morphed together? Just like this. Now back to the show.
After the break, we see Timmy's house where Jimmy has finally shown up there. And as he's under the bed, Cosmo and Wanda show up.
Aloha, Timmy! Timmy? Who's Timmy? I'm Jimmy Neutron.
Great idea, Jimmy. Show up in a new universe and immediately dox yourself. Imagine that happened when people went to a different universe. Like, where the fuck am I? You're in another dimension, bro. I'm in another dimension right now. My name is Walter Hartwell White. I live at 308 Negro Arroyo Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87104. Do you think Cosmo and Wanda are AI? Again, way ahead of its time. And why is Wanda making that face when Jimmy squizzes her feet? It was an artist's conscious decision to do that. Someone went in and animated that frame by frame on purpose. Damn, bro. She fucking won Dissimo and Jimmy now? Mr. Turner kicks down the door like an absolute chad, and he tells Jimmy that it's time for school, thinking he's wearing a reality avoidance costume, which is also what trans femmes call their femme clothes. And he brings up previous costumes like Buzz Adams, and my personal favourite, Kent Quasar, which I'm almost certain is a reference to Johnny Quasar, which was the original concept for Jimmy Neutron. Anyway, Icky Vicky comes in the room and drives him to school and chucks him out the door.
Different world, same physics.
You fucking lie. You cannot do a full straight up body headstand whenever you fall over in the show. You fall on your stomach, you scummy lying sack of shit. Also, who are you talking to? Jimmy walks inside and everyone greets him as Kent Quasar. And Jimmy says, no, I'm not Kent Quasar, I'm Jimmy Neutron. To which Sanjay denies and says, oh yeah, I'm Yogi Bear. Which is just more proof that he's way ahead of his time. This is literally an argument with a transphobe in comments saying, oh, I identify as an attack helicopter. It really was made by Butch Hartman. Jimmy now has to experience the things that Timmy does on a daily basis, such as receiving an F, which physically burns him. Like, there are marks there.
Different world, same physics.
Jimmy uses the poofer to teleport away, and Crocker is shocked by this, and absolutely Naruto runs down the hall and says there's only one explanation. Also, why does he have a locker? Where is your office? Are you not a teacher at this school? And you reveal that his genius plan this whole time was to make a science fair every single year until someone finally made a device that could take him to Fairy World. Jimmy gets teleported back to Timmy's room and he tries to use it 3 times to get back home. He's meant to be a genius, right? How does he not realize this only gets him back to his room? He shoves his pen into the GB, and Retroville is conveniently already up on screen, so he finally sets his path for there. Before Crocker somehow found his way into Timmy's home, steals it, and teleports them to Fairy World. Jimmy didn't teleport before this because the episode needs to happen.
We're in Fairy World! Way to go, genius!
With my Hypno Beam, programming people is a snap.
Hypno Beam? Whoa. Hey, Mom, let's go shopping. But I just went shopping. Okay, dear.
Great tasting gum that's good for your teeth. Tried it for kids, the official gum sponsor of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
Back in Retroville, Jimmy and Cindy are sharing a drink that has disappearing straws. Carl, Shane, and Louie bust into the candy bar to tell them that
God, it's gone berserk!
Timmy tells them not to worry and that everything will be fine, and then they go outside and see Jimmy's dad just getting like absolutely flung around. Cindy and Timmy ditch Carl, Shane, and Libby as Hugh comes in and gets pounded, and then Goddard starts chasing a truck instead, and Shane was like also way ahead of his time.
Going to destroy the town!
Let's get my video camera.
Neat.
We cut back to Judy as Mighty Mum for a couple seconds, and oh, why are you posing like that, Judy? This was scripted in November. Why are you trying to make me act? Oh! We see Cindy and Timmy having a picnic, torturing and mutilating animals. That's true love right there. And to bring their relationship to the next level, she brings out the mind phone so she can hear all of Timmy's thoughts.
Uh-oh.
Meanwhile, ADHD, Fat One, and Music Girl are trying to stop Goddard. They're like, look at that. It's a giant piece of metal. You're not stopping that. Earlier, Timmy says it locks onto moving targets, destroys it, and grows. So, like, if a gust of wind blew leaves in a tree, would destroying the tree make him go bigger? Or, like, would each individual leaf do that? Because if so, we're fucked if he finds a field of windmills. We see Cindy try out the mind phone doing some lame poetry, while Timmy is thinking about some awesome shit.
Hello and welcome to Celebrity Steel Cage Monkey Boxing!
Now that's some shit I want to watch. KSI versus Paul the Three-Eyed Monkey. Who wins? Girls be like, yeah, pass me my tampon. I need to think about flowers and frolicking. Meanwhile, boys be like, yeah, sports, yeah, fun, yeah, sports, fighting, woo, yeah! Cindy somehow still doesn't know that Timmy's a dumbass. Meanwhile, the three run into them.
God, it's still berserk!
Goddard is going insane. So, he vores Timmy.
Okay. Yep. And then, oh fuck, okay.
Meanwhile, in Goddard's stomach, Timmy's breathing in the fumes, but on the bright side, he doesn't have any brain cells left to kill anyway. Also, Decimator Goddard is just like edging the kill. Like, he's edging us, bro. He's just dragging him across. He never gets dropped in. Anyway, after taking Cindy's advice, Timmy cuts the laser and the hole in the wall, and he goes straight through.
It worked! Alright! I took a girl's advice and it worked!
Timmy, she can hear you, you idiot. Cindy tells him to have a brain blast, to which he almost does, but his ADHD stops him.
Gotta think! I'm bored again.
Wait, also, if this cuts through Goddard's metal, why was Jimmy going to get one? Does that fix a leak somehow? Like, how? He's gonna cut his dog open. Was he just gonna, like, dispose of Is this not the first Goddard? Is this not the first Goddard? Holy shit. Matt Pat, I know you only have a few theories left. This is it. This is it, Matt Pat. Jimmy disposes of Goddard. There's proof, like in the in New Dog Old Tricks, the shorts, and Goddard explodes, but he puts himself back together. But like, how does that work? Right? He's gotta have multiple Goddards, right? Get on it, team theorists. Eventually, he just thinks up the idea of quitting the game, so his teeth bite through metal. Like, I have my phone here right now. Like, I couldn't... If I tried, I probably couldn't, like, destroy it, right? Goddard shrinks down, and in the first place, where did he get all that excess metal? He knocked you out, and he grew still, right? But now that he's shrunk, where did all the excess metal go? Jimmy comes up on screen, says that his vitals are back to normal. I'm so fixated on the V in GTV, which I assume stands for Goddard Television, but it keeps clipping through. Anyway, Timmy finds out Crocker's in Fairy World and he flips his shit.
Some lunatic sucked me into your computer simulation. What lunatic?
The Fairly Odd Parents will be right back on Nickelodeon.
Chip and Dave just went back in time. They thought they saved the day.
I'm so glad we're home, man.
But what they left behind will change history.
Do you know who you're messing with, bro? That's Reggie Duvalier, fool. Everything's owned by the Duvaliers? How could us saving the day back in the day lead to all of this? What have we done? We'll figure it out.
Lost in the West, the 3-part movie event continues tomorrow at 8, only on Nick.
Now back to more Fairly Odd Parents on Nickelodeon.
Crocker teleports away just as Cosmo and Wanda jump for him, instead of just using their magic on him. And we see Crocker teleport onto a tour on David Copper. Anyway, when he gets onto the tour, he immediately starts being racist.
Could anyone but a nip wear a hat this stupid?
Meanwhile, Jimmy is talking to Timmy, and as soon as he finds out Goddard's fine, he hangs up because he's a fucking dickhead. Crocker finds out that the fairy armory has its own power supply, so he busts in there, grabs some just regular ass water balloons for some reason, and knocks down the big wand. I don't know why he grabbed these water balloons. Are the aliens from Signs gonna attack? After he knocks down the big wand, Cosmo and Wanda decide that with their final piece of magic, they're gonna teleport right in front of Crocker, and then they're immediately going to be powerless, so they can't do anything to him. That's like using super speed to run in front of a bullet. Why? Anyway, Timmy full nerd emojis out, grabs Cosmo's wand and attaches it to the little bit of the power supply that the big wand has left using a coil, and he creates an electromagnetic field, which I don't think at all is strong enough. I mean, I feel like he used the excuse of saying, oh, it's magic, so maybe it has a stronger power. After Jimmy gets the Game Buddy back, he's just like, I'm gonna head out. But Cosmo says he can't do that, starts fucking around with him, calls Timmy on his watch, who's somehow made it back to the lab already, and we get this big thing of, oh, Goddard's a robot, and if these are robots, then you gotta save them. I saved your robot, you saved mine, even though I created this whole problem. I'm Timmy Turner, I'm a fucking idiot. Crocker shoots Jimmy's watch, and somehow the blast isn't big enough to go to him. Well, it probably is, but it doesn't. And it doesn't turn into anything like everything else is shot. It just like fries. It just kind of fries itself. So Cosmo and Jimmy take cover and we get a part 2D, part 3D motherfucking brain blast, bitches. Jimmy teleports in front of the school and then says he needs technology and then teleports inside the gym. I don't know why he didn't just go straight to the gym, but we see the hardest scene of all time with him building a DIY Gundam to his own theme song. Also, when we arrive in there, we see AJ's clones next to Francis's robot. When he goes to grab it at the end of the scene, right? AJ's clones aren't there anymore. So this means one of two things. Either Jimmy woke them up and he used them for child labour, or the Gundam's made out of human flesh and bones. Back in Fairy World, Crocker's readying up to raid the Fairy Capital building, and my question is, where was Denzel Crocker on the 6th of January 2021? He breaks into the King's chamber and he's greeted by Jimmy, who they just like start beating the shit out of each other. Like, left, right, good night, up, up, down, down, BA start, bitch. Crocker's 3 wands somehow do nothing to his arms when he covers himself, but the 4th one slices the gas, and when he lands on the ground, 1, the wands are gone, and 2, now they start doing stuff when they hit the exact same things they did before. So Crocker shoots Jimmy. Episode over. No, he shoots Jimmy and he starts turning, his head comes off, and we find out that there's actually a reskin of the Francis robot, which unlocks a 3rd option. Jimmy harvested AJ's clone's skin. Meanwhile, Jimmy is at the big wand trying to power it up and it's not plugged in. Smartest person on earth. Also, the big wand is always running on something different, it seems. Like, this episode is plugged in like a PowerPoint, but in another episode we see it's powered by Crocker's believing in fairies. So what I think I'm trying to say here is good on the fairies for experimenting with alternative energy sources, very environmentally friendly. Jimmy runs up the hill, plugs in the big wand, and Crocker's plan is done. He grabs Jorgen's wand and basically bullies Crocker and turns him back into his normal clothes. Then Jorgen comes and attacks him so hard that he changes back into his dictator clothes. And somehow Timmy appears on the screen with a game buddy in Jimmy's lab. Now it's getting like really specific. Like, this is just sort of creepy, guys. Like, what if Timmy grabs that game buddy and just like watches someone take a shower or some shit? Timmy wishes to get them back home and we see the most iconic scene in the episode of them two shaking hands. This must have been so hard to animate. This must have been like the most difficult thing they ever animated. That night at the Dimsdale Fair, Timmy is still just absolutely hunched over his desk, fucking because he still hasn't finished anything. Until a portal opens up in the ceiling and Goddard comes through. Also, everyone somehow has their technology back. I would say Timmy wished it back, but he would help other people win a competition. So if it can't help you win a competition, you can help someone else? Does that work? I mean, it doesn't matter anyway, because no one wins, because Goddard comes out the roof, and this means Timmy wins 1st place. Actually, no, he wanted to teleport there in the first place to win a competition, so not a loophole. The rules just aren't enforced in this episode. This episode shouldn't have happened.
Thanks, boy genius.
Don't mention it, average kid who no one understands.
Worst line in the special. This special is just so iconic to me and so many other people. Like, I didn't even grow up with these in the traditional way. I grew up with them on like DVD and Kiss Cartoon, allegedly. Actually, you know what? No, not allegedly. Statute of limitations, motherfucker. I was 10. I did it. I was on Kiss Cartoon. I enjoyed it. Hell, I loved it. I'm just itching to do it again. Come on. It wouldn't be a Petko video without Lab Rats. Lab Rats is more of like a scientific show. Like, the reason they got their superpowers is very science-based. And Mighty Med doesn't really explain how many of the superheroes got their powers besides like one thing. So I guess you could say it's more mystical. So it's like science versus magic. Hold on, wait up. Never mind. Let's just get into the episode.
Did you see the whole SpongeBob movie got leaked?
The episode opens with this like big comic book panel. Not if you're watching it on Disney Plus. But it's just scenes from an episode and they put like a sort of ugly filter over it. Fun fact, I actually made a compilation of all the lines that are different because they cut some stuff from part 1 and part 2, which was explained in a tweet by someone who commented on my post, who actually was an editor on the show. So thank you, Kean Carlisle, because I assume he commented because of you. So yeah, you can read that. That's why the episode's different on Disney Plus. Well, part 1's different. The only thing I found was different in part 2 was that the cuts were different. Like when they cut to commercial break and came back, my version and the Disney Plus version unsynced just a little bit. But if you want to see every line that was cut out, you can watch it right now on my Twitter. So hopefully the link for that will be in the description below. But the episode opens up with Chase running into the rat's room at 5:30 a.m. to tell them that him and Mr. Davenport finally figured out, we actually don't know until we get there. It's actually something that will revolutionize the world's energy, and it's called the Davin Chase Transponder. 1, that name fucking sucks. 2, both of your last names are Davenport. It doesn't change anything. Why did you need to put Chase in the name? 3, this looks like a gimmicky flip phone from 2004. Like, I'd see this in a YouTube compilation. It's like, you know, the ones that's like, oh, this is what gaming consoles will look in the future. It's like the Xbox 720. Apparently the device gets its energy from around it and it's stored into the thing. So if you walk into someone's house, it'll just like steal all their energy. Like you leave and their fucking light switches stop working and shit. What if everyone gets one? What if it steals all the energy in the world? Then now it's just stealing something that's not there. You didn't think this through, did you? Also, you're too late. The kid from Lost in the West already did that. This video right here, was meant to come out after another video that I'm doing. So once that video comes out, come all the way back and watch this one. Watch it all the way through again, and then go back and watch the other one that when I posted a second time. Give me watch time and tell everyone to subscribe to me, please. Later, the Davenports are getting ready for their global webcast, and Chase is just shocked and appalled when the sign is revealed and his name just like really small.
Are you kidding me? I know, your name was supposed to be much smaller.
Later, Adam is bringing through laundry and he's dragged away by Bree because they need to go train students. And when this happens, the 2 hosts of the Shit and Shat podcast appear in the middle of the area. Kaz is here to find bionics. That's his goal in this part of the show. He's looking for superpowers. Meanwhile, Chase is still mad at Daddy D because he's just been snubbed from the whole thing, but he's still excited to find someone who can produce the transponders in a very environmentally friendly way. Except Donald already did that. He already figured it out.
I went with the guy who paid the most. Ka-ching!
Kaz and Oliver are in the training area discussing what would happen if he got powers when Adam walks in with the students. So now they have to pretend like they have bionics.
Make it stop! Make it stop!
That doesn't make any sense because Kaz is wearing a beginner's shirt. This is for intermediate and advanced only, thank you very much. Kaz, get the fuck out of here. Back in the Hydraloop area, Chase sees a businessman constantly doing the Andrew Tate pose, portrayed by hit star of the Smosh movie.
Look, someone posted a video on here.
Have you thought about life insurance lately?
Who constantly has a stare telling you that he ain't never seen 2 pretty best friends. One of them always gotta be ugly. He manipulates Chase's insecurities to lead him right to the transponder. Smartest man on earth, my ass. Anyway, the businessman finally reveals that he's actually not a businessman and he's a villain called the Incapacitator, and he incapacitates Chase. Bree comes in again and grabs Adam. I don't know why she wasn't training the students. They were both meant to be doing it. Back in the transponder room, Daddy Davenport is yelling at Chase, and they all split up to go find the Incapacitator, and instead find Kaz and Oliver, who they start cornering because they think is working for the Incapacitator, until Tecton, Grey Granite, and Gamma Girl come in. Grey Granite? 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 The thing you mine in Minecraft. I believe this is Grey Granite's and Tecton's final appearance. Probably because they get killed by the Incapacitator. Like, there's a scene where they get blasted through the roof and we don't see them again. So this episode is a kill count.
He's got energy transference, just like the Incapacitator.
Tecton, say why you really think he's working for the Incapacitator, you blonde-haired, blue-eyed, racist motherfucker. Also, after writing that, I realized that the Incapacitator and Leo are just 2 more black superpowered characters who have electricity superpowers. So add that to TV tropes. I tried to, but my account got denied by the Reddit mods over there. Meanwhile, Donald's on a call with the FBI. How rich and famous do you have to be to have like a main line to just straight to the FBI? Anyway, the Incapacitator is right behind him, isn't he? So polite of him to wait for Donald to finish his phone call before trying to incapacitate it. Also, where did the suit come from? Did it change? Was he wearing it under his clothes? If so, where did the business suit go? Also, I just love this guy's face. Like, whenever he has like that little villain smirk, it looks like he just got away with ripping a wet fart. Anyway, the incapacitator starts sucking Donald through his eye. His retina, of course, to unlock the box. And after a small chat between the Lab Rats and the Mighty Med heroes, we start the actual only part of the episode where it's Lab Rats versus Mighty Med, which goes for a total of... I haven't fucking calculated it yet. Throw the time up on screen. The fight only stops because Donald calls into the room and everyone goes to check on him. And this is where we get them running into the room, Incapacitator blasting them through the roof. So obviously, Chase, being the smartest person on Earth, runs right at him with his laser bow and gets incapacitated again. So now he's dying. No, seriously, he's dying. So they wormhole away to Mighty Med, and that's the end of part 1. Unless you're on Disney Plus, then there's an extra scene where he has an eye patch and Donald starts like talking about how awesome he is.
Patch is only temporary. I'm still beautiful. For now, all we can do is hope Chase pulls through.
New powers will be revealed. We'll be right back to Lab Rats Bionic Island on Disney XD.
Coming up next, Cindy Vortex needs a date to the dance.
You think a date's just gonna come crashing through the ceiling?
And these two nerds want to take her.
Nerd fight! Nerd fight!
But there's a little problem. Lots of little problems!
We're free! Free!
And did we mention that this guy is back?
What?
Jimmy, Timmy 2, When Nerds Collide! Coming up next, only on Nick.
Alright! You rock, dude!
It's time for more bionic training. Now back to Lab Rats Bionic Island on Disney XD.
Part 2 opens up with the gang wormholing into Mighty Med as Skylar comes in and with Horace and asks who everyone is.
Bionic arm, super strength, super fast, and super unconscious.
Horace says that it's fine, he knows how to cure Chase. He pulls Kaz and Oliver aside and says he actually doesn't. Chase is gonna die. So now they have to act like they're confident and know what they're doing. And just to cause the least amount of stress possible, some of them split up to go and try and stop the incapacitator. So Kaz and Leo stay with Chase. They move Chase into a private room for literally one scene, just so they can give him a urine test.
Chase! You're in what hospital right now?
Mikey figured out that Jack is actually a liar, pants on fire. Meanwhile, in the gym area, Oliver goes to ask Ambrose, the omniscient person who can draw when anyone is, to draw up the location of the incapacitator. Meanwhile, Adam crushes the Crusher.
Hey, dude, you're using those weights wrong.
R.I.P. to the KFC Crushers. You will be missed. You are missed every day in my heart. Bring back the KFC Crusher, please. Back in the main hospital room, Kaz finally figures out how to cure Chase by switching their minds so that he now has Chase's intelligence and knows how to cure him. So he does it, but...
Chase's injury has created a hardware virus in his chip. It's causing the chip to generate protonic energy. He's stable for now, but if his blood pressure gets too high, he'll explode.
Yeah, that. What he just said, the clip I just showed you, you know. Were you watching? Were you paying attention, bitch? So, Chase is gonna explode. So now they have to stop Chase from blowing up and act like he don't know nobody. But, like, he has plot armor. You know he'll be fine. Oliver says that Ambrose drew the incapacitator at the Falafel Tower.
And that was falafel.
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
I remember that. Yep.
We had some great jokes on those shows.
They go there to find nobody's there, and maybe it's because you're at a transmission tower. Like, that is not what the Eiffel Tower looks like, bro. But they actually find out that it is in the replica of the Eiffel Tower in New York, which gets Adam a little bit too excited. But that thing's like, it's built like a Nokia. It's gonna be fine. They don't go down and get it. They instead get a cart and run across the ocean. They, like, Bree runs them across the ocean. So now someone's just gonna find them on the street and have the power of teleportation readily available to them.
This is awful. I believe it's pronounced falafel.
Fixing superheroes is how they operate. Mighty Men will be right back on Disney XD.
I need to come up with something great.
3 weeks.
Something awesome. In a row. Something out of this world.
Witness the most colossal, all-new Kirby event of this or any alternate dimension. When you start talking, I tend to zone out. It's 3 straight weeks of all-new Kirby like you've never seen them before.
I bulked up a bunch, got ripped, cut, toned.
Kirby Buckets Warped. Binge all new episodes starting January 16th, anywhere you can watch Disney XD.
Things are about to get totally
warped.
Up next, it's Jimmy Neutron on Nick. The superhero doctors will see you right now. Back to Mighty Med on Disney XD.
Back at Mighty Med, Chase has ran out to go to the thing, you know, to stop the incapacitator. So Leo and Kaz run out and look for the invisible ambulance so they can take them and Chase to stop the incapacitator.
Oh, good, you found it.
Meanwhile, Adam, Bree, Scarlett, and Oliver arrive at the New York Eiffel Tower. Not New York, fucking Vegas. Once again, I've actually been to the Eiffel Tower in Vegas, and I've watched a little bit of Heartstopper Season 2, so I should know. Multi-billion-dollar company Disney couldn't do it, and Netflix did it. They start fighting, and Oliver is like getting electrocuted because he tries to hit the incapacitator with a pole. The incapacitator electrocutes the pole and electrocutes Oliver. He doesn't even shit himself like the toaster guy who's been faking on Twitch. He could fake it right. Disney couldn't even fake it right.
Oh, I think I just shit myself.
Kaz, Leo, and Chase show up, and after a bit more fighting, Kaz comes up with the idea to tell Chase to jump off the building. And he speaks loudly, saying that he has enough powerful energy inside of him that if the incapacitator gets it, he'll be unstoppable, so I have to jump off the building. And the incapacitator falls for this, absorbs the energy, gets the virus, and fucking explodes. Somehow all this build-up of all the world's energy doesn't kill them when it explodes out of him and goes over. No, they're just fine. They're just chilling there, you know.
Wait, Adam's missing. Where's Adam?
Really? A Where's Waldo reference? In the year of our Lord 2024. I mean, this was made in 2015. In the year of our Lord 2015, back at Mighty Med Hospital, Chase and Kaz switch back intelligence. There's an incest joke, and then the rats leave.
Where'd your friends go? Oh, they left. Without saying goodbye? What, were they raised in a basement?
See, that's how you write a funny ending joke. Not, thanks boy genius, no problem, average kid did not understand. That line still fucking sucks. I still loved this special. I'm sorry, I loved it. 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 I need some water. On to the next one, I guess. There's no need to explain this one. You already saw the trailer. I showed it to you. Now onto the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour 2 with a total runtime of 50 minutes and 46 seconds.
Hey, did you say they're making a Ren and Stimpy?
Oh my god, shut the fuck up! The episode starts with Jimmy testing off some common bad luck myths by getting Kyle to walk under a ladder. Although he gets electrocuted because Sheen replaced one of the broken steps on the ladder with an electric rod because Sheen's stupid. Jimmy's about to ask Cindy out to the Friday the 13th dance that he's hosting, but before that can happen, Jimmy gets an alert on his watch saying that Professor Calamitous is robbing the downtown Retroville bank. How does Jimmy have this perfect camera angle, and why does Calamitous fucking pose up for it? Anyway, he flies away, leaving Cindy there. Meanwhile in Dimsdale, Timmy's planning for his own Friday the 13th dance when Crocker walks in and says that nobody's gonna come to that dance because they're all gonna be celebrating his birthday. Canonically, his birthday is May 13th. May 13th, when this episode was produced in 2005, was a Friday the 13th. And this episode premiered on January 2006, I believe. More specifically the 16th, which was 3 days after a Friday the 13th as well. But that means that this entire episode takes place on May the 13th, Friday the 13th. So the next time there's one of those is 2033. Timmy remembers that he hasn't asked anyone to the dance yet.
No girl in the universe would date me. Oh my gosh, it's that boy who talks to inanimate objects. Just smile and back away slowly.
Bitch, what grade are you in?
Wait a minute. Girl in this universe. Pack your bags. We're going to Retroville.
Also, yes, in the first special he said greatest love in the universe, and now they're two separate universes. Get over it. I mean, I'm not going to, but you can live a happy life. We get the same intro again. There's a title card this time with a subtitle that When Nerds Collide. We cut to Fairy World and we see a
Oh, shit!
that's revealed to be Anti-Cosmo trying to sneak in. If Fairy Elvis is in prison for doing the same crimes that real Elvis did, do not let him out. Anti-Cosmo is interrupted by Jorgen, who buffs up the security system and says that no one in that universe will be able to get to it, which gives Anti-Cosmo a urethra moment to find someone from another universe to break into Fairy World prison. I don't know how he plans to do that. I mean, he has a magic wand. I guess he could just do it instantly, but he waits until later to do it. You'll see. Back in Retroville, Neutron approaches Calamitas, who's teamed up with Dr. Moist. Although Dr. Moist does get ejected when Calamitas finds out that Jim's approaching them.
I see you managed to escape the force field I trapped you in back in the Cretaceous period.
Yes.
This scene, but more specifically this line in particular, really pisses me off. Because wherever you look, everyone says, oh, canonically, timeline-wise, the very final episode of Jimmy Neutron is the League of Villains. However, this line is in direct reference to the very end of the League of Villains episode. One day I'm going to have to make like a full Jimmy Neutron timeline video, but basically what I'm saying is yous are all wrong. Anyone who says the League of Villains, it's not. This clearly takes place after that, so get wrecked. Jimmy sticks Dr. Clammy Tits with an anti-gravity disc so he floats up into the air, surely never to be seen again. Until he shows up again in about 5 minutes, but we're not up to that part yet. He leaves to go ask Cindy out as Timmy poofs into their universe, who's there to do the exact same thing. What a coincidence. Carl and Shane agree to tell Timmy where Cindy's house is as long as he gets them there in a very irresponsible fashion. So they crash through a ceiling. Jimmy follows soon after to tell Cindy that he's not actually a genius, to which Cindy doesn't believe, so now they're gonna have a nerd fight. This is a pretty cool scene, you know, Timmy counteracts some of Jimmy's inventions, more like one. Jimmy flies off, Timmy goes behind a tree and wishes for the same rocket, just in his color pattern, and they start flying through the sky. And then they fly into a mountain, which Timmy avoids, but Jimmy plummets to his death. It's revealed that Professor Calamitas was watching everything that they were doing, so now it's his mission to find out how and where Timmy got Cosmo and Wanda and get them for himself. Timmy takes Cindy to his universe to go talk about the dance privately.
Have fun dancing, machine!
So now Jimmy is going to Dimsdale.
And so am I.
Jimmy finishes setting up the portal to go to Dimsdale, so the cast of kids jump through, with Calamitas soon after following, but not before having a look at Jimmy's lab, which was left open. Meanwhile, Timmy is absolutely rizzing the fuck out of Cindy by reading her diary and wishing everything came true. A little bit creepy, dude. Before he could finally ask her out, Cindy asks to see Timmy's lab, so he goes over to AJ's house and hijacks his. Cindy starts getting all touchy-touchy, which you don't do that. You don't do that with a nerd. So when she grabs the gene splicer, Timmy takes it off her and shoves it in his pants. I'm sure this won't come up later. I'm just kidding, this will be on the test. Timmy takes Cindy to the beach so he can finally ask her, to which they just find Carl and Shane swimming there. I guess they just got like bored immediately, split off. They're like, let's go to the beach. Let's go swimming. Let's go golfing. So Timmy wishes for them to be swept away by a sandstorm. He kills them. That's what he does. Just for him to leave the beach anyway. Like, that's so unnecessary. Just dip next time. They finally find a private place at a fountain, and then Libby approaches. I guess every character here is just like, nah, I'ma do my own thing. Timmy wishes an artist that Libby likes appears. Is there a version of her in their universe? And in Timmy's universe? Did he pull her from the Jimmy Neutron universe? And why is she only dancing? Is it a clone of her that can only sing and dance? Or only dance whenever I actually see her sing? Can she only dance? What's the deal with fucking Weird Garnet over here? Third time's the charm. Timmy and Cindy finally find a place in the woods, and then Carl, Shane, Libby approach them. Is Lady Daddy-Da just still chilling there? Anyway, Timmy gets sick of this, so he wishes over Cosmo and Wanda to the trio, so they can make whatever wishes they want, just to give them some private time. Rule number 63, according to the rules on Wiki. A god kid cannot give away nor transfer his or her fairy godparents to another kid. without the permission of Jorgen von Strangle.
Nigga, what?
So yeah, he just loves breaking the rules. Meanwhile, Jimmy's at the Turner household cleaning their toilets because Mr. Turner still thinks he's Timmy. And when he finally escapes, he finds his hypercube because Calamitous tried to blast him, but instead he found a wind turbine and just blew him off. A wind turbine that takes him right under a bunch of ladders, straight through a mirror factory, and blasts him right into a black cat adoption agency. This is enough bad luck to get the attention of Anti-Cosmo, who overhears him say he's from another universe. So they make a deal to break into the prison and for Anti-Cosmo to help Calamitous. But after Calamitous holds up his end of the deal, Anti-Cosmo locks him and Jorgen in a prison cell together. Meanwhile, Timmy's at a bridge with Cindy. How are Cosmo and Wanda Swans here? Shouldn't they be with Libby, Carl, and Sheen right now? And right before Timmy can ask her out, now Jimmy comes. But before he can convince Cindy of anything, a wormhole opens up in the sky, and the sky absolutely floods with anti-fairies. The first half of the episode ends with Jimmy and Timmy bickering.
He called you fool.
Do you always have to get the last word?
Yes?
Up next, it's more Jimmy Neutron on Nick.
Next up, retro villain Cindy Vortex.
Tomorrow!
You're going down, Turner.
You're going down, Neutron.
It's their third collision.
Hey, what if we made our own villain?
And this time it's gonna leave a mark. Will this be the final chapter?
Run, you idiots!
Timmy 3, the Jerkinators. Catch it again tomorrow at 8, only on Nick.
That could have gone better.
Now back to more Jimmy Neutron, only on Nickelodeon.
The second part opens up with Jimmy hitting a fucking Fortnite emo because it's a chat. We now know what his Fortnite set would look like. Put his skin on the Robo Walker like a Mecha Morty type of thing, right? His back bling would be his backpack jetpack. Goddard could be his glider. He could go down like in the intro. I'm not 100% sure about pickaxe, but the emote would either be the in-your-face dance or
Ain't no loving my man. Shoo up, shoo up.
Don't act like it's out of the question either, like, oh, it went off the air so long ago. They added this iconic, like, Mexican superhero, and his show went off the air in 1979, so it's not out of the question at all. Jorgen and Calamitous escape the prison while Jimmy, Timmy, and Cindy look for Libby, Carl, and Sheen. Meanwhile, the anti-fairies are flooding the air and halting the rotation of the Earth to make every day Friday the 13th, and some of them start causing as much bad luck as they can. Jimmy, Cindy, and Timmy find the others suffering wish overload. He couldn't transfer them over, which means they're also not allowed to transfer them back. But I guess that rule's already been broken. And Timmy undoes all the wishes that they did. Rule number 58 under the rules page on the Fairly Odd Parents wiki. A god kid cannot unwish someone else's wish. Timmy tries wishing all the anti-fairies away, but there's too many of them. So instead they head for Crocker's lab, which is disguised as Timmy's, and they get a butterfly net, because if it has wings and flies, a butterfly net can catch it. So Jimmy combines it with this hypercube so they can suck up all the fairies, and they come up with a plan to make a massive Rube Goldberg trap of bad luck, which catches all the anti-fairies' attention and traps them. And Jimmy and Timmy have a small moment of finally thinking, oh damn, that was a cool idea, dude. Yeah, that was great. Oh yeah, oh my god, oh yeah. Until Cindy just goes, fight over me, please. So they do, and Jimmy's hypercube falls into the middle of the road. So Jorgen and Calamitous go for it at the same time.
At much harnessed energy, I'd be invincible. Nigga, what?
And in an effort to make himself look good and make Jimmy look bad since he's already going for it, Timmy tries to stop them with his gene splicer, which just ends up merging Calamitous' head onto Jorgen's body.
Where's he gonna buy shirts?
And now it's controlled by Calamitous since he's the smarter one, which means he has access to all of the magic just like he wanted. So what's the first thing he does? He kills Jimmy and Timmy. Obviously they don't actually kill them, they get turned into snails.
Columbus is mega powerful, and the only two people who can stop him are toast! Actually, we're snails.
But the French eat us with toast.
Back in retro. Ew! Why did he look like that? Jorgen out here looking like he had a mewing overload. Anyway, Calamitous uses the magic to freeze Jimmy's loved ones in carbonite, make a big bomb so it can beat Oppenheimer, and ruin Jimmy and Timmy's chances of getting Sloppenheimer tonight by turning Cindy into a goldfish.
Cindy? You're a fish?
I can't get hit with a fish!
much.
The real question is, would you rather die from a massive, like, Big Bang bomb or eat a delicious sandwich? Jimmy and Timmy are turned invisible to go to the bottom of the bomb and defuse it, while everyone else rides in on Jimmy's rocket to distract Calamitas, who starts throwing them around. Calamitas realizes that Jimmy and Timmy aren't dead, and this makes Jorgen really angry as he's been trying to tell them that magic can't kill people for the entire time they've been merged. And they find out that when he gets really angry, he gets control of his body back. So what do? They break the rules. Well, they fake break the rules. They make Sheen a fairy, which technically is against the rules. This works, and Jorgen gets control of his body back. But after he gets his body back, everyone realizes the bomb hasn't been defused, so it goes off and everyone dies. Until Jorgen reverses it, of course, because everyone in this writer's room's a pussy and they can't follow through with anything. That's a joke. Please, no. I was joking. Please, cast me in the revival. I'll play a background character, please. Everything's back to normal. Sheen isn't a fairy anymore.
Is this the end of Fairy Boy? For now. But if we ever need a sub, we'll call.
Remember that, kids. It'll be important in a future video. So after all of that, it's time for Cindy to finally decide who she's going to the dance with. But since they helped fix a problem that they caused, Jorgen fixes the problem for them, splits the universes so that she can go to both dances at the same time. Carl wishes for a Judy Neutron cum jar and the episode ends. So this is the middle of the series and it's fun. We get to see Jorgen in horrifying 3D, as well as Cosmo and Wanda in 3D. But I'm not only going to see 3D Jorgen in this episode, I'm also going to see him in my nightmares. We're finally here, the third and final Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, with a runtime of 48 minutes and 26 seconds. The episode opens up with Jimmy finishing his pervert machine. I mean, what else do you call this? He literally can look through and see what's going on in other universes.
Now let's see what our neighboring dimensions are up to.
And he stumbles onto Timmy, who's going to hang out with AJ and Chester, but AJ blows him off because he's freezing himself into the future, and Chester's building a toilet, so instead of finding new friends in his universe, Timmy wishes to go into Retroville. Jimmy must have built a speaker as well while we were listening to this, because apparently he hears this and finds out that he's going to meet Cindy. So he starts running and literally crashes into him. What happens if he ran like a second earlier? Would he have teleported in the same place, or would he have teleported behind him? Or would Timmy have teleported into Jimmy and like Ant-Man up Thanos' asshole him and blew him up? Jimmy jets away with his jetpack and Timmy follows him.
You know, he could have just wished himself to Cindy's first. Yeah, he's not really that bright, is he?
Yeah, or he could have just walked across the street to Cindy's house because they literally live across the street from each other. This is so unnecessary. They literally springboard or something just to go back and bounce off Jimmy's roof and land at her front door. To which the butler actually answers and says that they're not home. And he closes the door in their faces. But the next shot we see is still as if the door was still open and there's a camera inside the house, so that makes no sense. So Jimmy and Timmy now decided they're gonna hang out with each other. And we get the intro and title card. The Jerkinators. Holy shit, they're gonna goon together. They're gonna... Jimmy Neutron gooning episode! Jimmy and Timmy finally finish their goon session. They're deciding what the next thing they're gonna do is. It's obviously gooning, alright? It's not like edging. Edging's a hobby, gooning's a lifestyle, bitch. Anyway, while they're getting the Pornhub site ready, Eustace Stritch starts approaching, talking about how he wants to become better at having sexual intercourse with Jimmy Neutron.
Being grounded for trying to smash Neutron made me want to be better. Better at smashing Neutron!
Meanwhile, Carl and Sheen are hanging out with Libby because Cindy's away. Until they see that Jimmy's fighting him, to which they ditch her and leave her with the bill. But Timmy and Jimmy are so overpowered together that they actually just blow both of them off. And that's the theme for this entire episode. They just keep blowing them off until they can't anymore, because then they realize, oh, we actually need them. Oh my god, friendship, wow. So anyway, they demolish him so hard that they decide they're going to fight one of Timmy's villains. And when they get there, Chester overhears Timmy call Jimmy his new best friend. So he grabs AJ, who thinks he's now in the 24th century, and does for most of the episode, which gets tiring very quickly. Timmy and Jimmy cop into one of Timmy's comic books to fight.
Nigga, what?
Any nerds willing to solve this equation, let me know. Anyway, they clap him in under a minute and they decide, wow, this is way too easy when we're working together, we need to make our own villain. So they do. They make their own villain voiced by the fat captain from WALL-E, and they teleport back to Retroville to do it.
Come on, let's blow this place!
They do what? AJ and Chester follow them through the portal, so we get to see their disgusting 3D faces. Also, Cindy came back early, so they send her into the lab, try and distract the boys, which obviously doesn't work because the episode needs to happen. Also, they get in by using Carl's bag of hair that literally grows a third side impossibly just to dog him out. Also, they break the fourth wall. Like, when Cindy starts talking to them, they stare into my soul. Anyway, they eject her out of the lab after she says this.
It's me, Cindy, the girl you waged an interdimensional war over?
See, that line proves for a fact it's after the second one, and this was produced in 2006, which means timeline-wise, it's probably the very, very final last timeline episode in Jimmy Neutron that was ever released. This will be important later. Anyway, they're typing up stuff for the villain. Instead of making him adoptable so they can give him away after they're done, Timmy accidentally makes him adaptable. But since everybody comes and tries to bother them, they teleport back to Dimsdale to finish the project. So back there, Jimmy electrocutes Cosmo and Wanda.
I specifically ignored the question because I didn't think you'd like the answer.
When they make him, he just doesn't actually be evil. He starts doing goofy shit like playing gotcha nerves. Meanwhile, everyone who's in Retroville sees they're in Dimsdale and hops to Dimsdale. This is because this came out after the financial flop of the Ant Bully, which means that DNA Productions had to shut down. So they probably couldn't afford all this animation for the whole episode. In Dimsdale, Cindy gets AJ and Chester to fight over her because they're the same nerd idiot archetype that Jimmy and Timmy were. And meanwhile, they're trying to piss off the villain, so Jimmy tickles Cosmo by fondling his wood and then absolutely fucking drives the villain right into a British courthouse. After a few attempts of this that don't work, they decide to tell the villain they're going to be at the mall just to ditch him. This pisses him off. So while they're trying to recreate him / make a new villain, he busts in, absolutely ready to fuck their shit up.
Big summer movies. Timmy 3 the Jerkinator will be right back on Nick.
They're coming for 3 days. Disney XD will be infested with the world's greatest predators. Shark! The Shark starts Friday, July 18th, only on Disney XD. Sounds yummy.
Big summer movies. Now back to Timmy 3 the Jerkinator on Nick.
The second half of the special starts in the same place as Jimmy and Timmy being cornered, so absolutely fucked. And the villain starts monologuing until he realizes he doesn't have a name, which makes him even more pissed. So he throws them across the street, Jimmy wishes for a tank, and the villain finally starts adapting.
I remember giving him girly weapon deflecting jewelry.
He absolutely fucks Jimmy's shit up once again. Jimmy gives him the name Shirley, to which he absolutely fucks his shit up because who the fuck wants to be named Shirley? So in a panic, they wish for super suits. Galactus throws them around some more until they get some car keys that put them in their underwear. So now Jimmy and Timmy realize how truly fucked they are and they try to self-destruct him, but he grabs the bomb from his chest and throws it into the sky. So now they're done for. He traps them in a force field. He takes Jimmy's brain, Timmy's magic, and they're done. They're done.
Now he's a villain and a genius, just like Dr. Phil.
Timmy and Jimmy trick him by taking him to a sauna and leaving when all the steam clouds everything up. And they send a letter saying they're going to be in Retroville just so he goes there instead, so they stay in Dimsdale. And when he's there, we can see him in beautiful, ugly 3D as well. He's asking everyone on the street where they are, and when they don't answer him, they just walk past him. He sucks them all up into a group, and we see the GOAT! The second GOAT of all time, Hugh Neutron. Obviously the first GOAT of all time is Paul, hashtag Paul for Brawl, hashtag Paul Clearhout for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. I want Paul the Three-Eyed Monkey in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Sign the petition, link in description, swag. Anyway, no one knows where they are, so the villain decides to flush them out. How exactly? Well, he creates an entirely new dimension, absorbs Retroville and Dimsdale, and just flushes them out into one dimension. While he's doing this, Jimmy and Timmy are with everyone else trying to apologize for what they did, but now they're blowing Jimmy and Timmy off. And while they're apologizing, he finds them, and he makes Jimmy and Timmy magnets on a fridge. Hold on, I'll remember all the names. So, Libby, Cindy, Coral, Sheen, AJ, Chester are now joined by Cosmo and Wanda, and they all go to ask the villain to stop what he's doing. To which he says, I don't give a fuck about your world, I only give a fuck about you. Hang out with me if you want, but I'm not restoring your world, sorry bitch. So he leaves, starts messing around with the citizens of Retroville and Dimsdale. Meanwhile, Jimmy and Timmy unstick from the fridge, raid Jimmy's lab for some stuff. For some reason Jimmy has a bubble gun, so when they go to confront him, they're sort of done for. Before they confront him, everyone else sees that they're coming and they fold down to hide because, you know, they're in 2D, they can do that. And they actually hear them sincerely apologize for what they did, even when they're not there. So now everyone's together in the fact that we need to stop the villain. So what do? They get him to adapt, of course. They play basketball with him to adapt his size. They make him go and have lunch to get all his weapons off of him. And Cole cries out for help, saying Jimmy and Timmy are being mean to him. Now this is where Chester was supposed to come down with a net and catch them. But instead it gets tangled, the villain finds out they're all lying to him and he gets really pissed off. He creates a tornado that's powerful enough to untangle Chester, who catches him because if it has wings and flies a butterfly and I can catch it. Although he doesn't have wings. Now the rule is their magic doesn't work under a butterfly net, which I don't think that was ever it, right? They just catch the fairies, right? So he adapts away the magic and they wish away his power. All the townspeople go to kill the villain, but Jimmy and Timmy stop them, apologize to the villain. And before in the episode, like at the very beginning, there was a little thing mentioned by Cosmo.
Sonic disruptors, hard-like manipulators, what else? The ability to fire pizza toppings from a tiny slot in his chest!
So they give him his own pizza restaurant. And the episode ends on Cindy making Jimmy say that she's smarter than him, because he still hasn't gotten his smarts back. But the episode ends. So canonically, like the latest piece in the timeline, if you don't count Planet Sheen, because we don't actually see him in that, Jimmy never actually gets his brains back. He could still be like incredibly stupid for all we know. Like I said in the Jimmy Neutron aspect, this was actually meant to be the final episode of both shows until the Fairly Odd Parents kept getting picked up again and dropped for new seasons. And I think that would be really cool, but I do understand why it wasn't as popular at the time. It feels just weird. It's a novelty. People say that by the third one the novelty ran out. I don't really think so. Like, you can go and watch so many other episodes of Jimmy Neutron. There's 3 specials with the Fairly Odd Parents. That's pretty fucking cool. But thanks for watching yet another video on Lab Rats and Jimmy Neutron. Join me again next time where I'll do probably the same fucking thing. Bye!